Good morning. I'm Pauline Rizosa, sitting in for Gretchen Ho. It is Wednesday, the 19th of March, and we're bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. First up, Vice President Sara Duterte said Attorney Harry Roque is no longer part of former President Rodrigo Duterte's legal team as they want lawyers fully focused on the case of her father. Roque previously announced that he will seek asylum in the Netherlands. Morning Matters host Gretchen Ho has this report.
The legal team of former President Rodrigo Duterte for his case before the International Criminal Court is still being finalized. That's according to Vice President Sara Duterte, who confirmed that British-Israeli international lawyer Nicholas Kaufman will lead their defense. Kaufman expressed confidence in mounting a strong defense that could lead to Duterte's acquittal. He also said that their legal strategy would include challenging the legality of Duterte's arrest.
I'm very confident of the strongest defense possible, and I'm very confident that he will be acquitted, indeed, even at the earliest stage possible.
Additional lawyers are also expected to undergo interviews before joining the team.
Meron pa akong mga kakausapin ng mga lawyers, no? Meron pang darating na isang abogado, i-interview ko siya para sumali sa team. And then once maayos na yung team for ICC, mag-withdraw si Attorney Medialdea kasi meron lang limited na mga slots for lawyers, and we want all the lawyers on board na merong ICC experience.
She also clarified that Attorney Harry Roque is not part of Duterte's legal team as they want lawyers fully focused on the case. Roque is still working on his asylum application.
So far, hindi siya kasama sa legal team, si Attorney Harry.
VP Sara also revealed that her father requested his other children not to visit him in The Hague.
Sabi niya na wag na pumunta dito dahil wala naman daw silang gagawin dito unless gusto daw nilang sumama doon.
Despite his detention, she assured supporters that the former president remains in good condition. She noted that he is still in the facility's hospital wing with doctors monitoring his medication. When asked if Duterte was still in shock after his arrest, VP Sara said he was not and reiterated that he is prepared to face the case against him.
He doesn't regret anything that he did sa pagtatrabaho niya para sa bayan, at nakita naman daw ng bayan kung ano yung resulta ng kanyang serbisyo.
For those who want to send a message to the former president, VP Sara said he can receive letters.
Meantime, former Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea fell ill while visiting former President Rodrigo Duterte at the ICC Detention Center. The Philippine Embassy said Medialdea was registering at the reception on Tuesday when he required medical attention. This prompted an embassy official to call for assistance. A medic from the detention center provided initial care before an ambulance transported Medialdea to a hospital. He is currently receiving treatment in The Hague. Now, in other news, the Justice Department will represent government officials named in former President Rodrigo Duterte's habeas corpus petition. This comes after Solicitor General Menardo Guevara recused himself from the case, citing, quote, institutional reasons. The DOJ, though, argued that the petition is moot as Duterte is already in the custody of the International Criminal Court. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla said bringing Duterte back would be difficult since the ICC now has full jurisdiction over him.
It's a done deal. It's there. Ando na siya. Tsaka sabi niya na mahaharapin niya yung charges. I think that he has repeated that to all of us. Lahat tayong Pilipino narinig natin na sinabi sa atin ni dating Pangulong Duterte na haharapin niya ang kahit na anong paratang sa kanya kahit sa ICC.
Meanwhile, Malacanang clarified that no decision has been made regarding the removal of Guevara following his recusal.
There's no indication that the president is not satisfied as of the moment, as of this time, with the performance of the Solicitor General. But maybe the Solicitor General can assess himself if he should still stay as Solicitor General.
The Makabayan bloc said it would urge the House Quad Committee to counter former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque's asylum bid in the Netherlands. ACT Teachers Party List representative Franz Castro argued that Roque's situation does not qualify as political persecution. Meanwhile, Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro challenged Roque to return to the Philippines and clear his alleged involvement in POGOs. The former spokesperson was cited for contempt by the Quad Committee in September 2024.
Nakakatawa itong si Roque, si Harry Roque, mukhang hindi niya alam ang ibig sabihin ng asylum. Kasi pangunahin na dahilan kung bakit nag-apply ng asylum ay talagang hindi tamang yung pagpo-prosecute sa iyo politically ng iyong gobyerno. Hindi naman siya biktima ng political persecution.
And now let's talk to the Bureau of Immigration spokesperson, Dana Sandoval, regarding former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, who is now in The Hague in the Netherlands. Good morning, Dana, and thank you for joining us here on Morning Matters.
Good morning. Magandang umaga.
Alright, Dana, simulan na natin. Can you tell us about itong pag-alis nga ni Attorney Harry Roque ng Pilipinas? At can you confirm kung pareho nga ba ng sinasabing escape route doon sa ginamit daw ni Mayor Alice Guo?
Yes, doon sa investigation that the Bureau of Immigration conducted, we saw that these two individuals did not pass through formal ports like the airports and seaports covered by the Bureau of Immigration, that they passed through what they call the back door, kung saan these are not manned by immigration personnel. These are open areas that might be utilized to cross borders and go to different countries via boat.
Well, Ms. Dana, you did mention na it was not manned by BI officials, pero posible ba nga na-facilitate ito ng ilang immigration personnel?
From the investigation that we conducted, it seems like wala pong immigration personnel that are involved in the illegal departure of these individuals. That's why we sought the help also of NBI, also with MICA, who are also conducting similar investigations. Because this is beyond immigration already. The investigation has expanded to involve siguro and entire intelligence agencies of the government to look into these matters. We have been raising the concern already about these backdoor areas since for a long time already, because it is still being utilized by trafficking victims. And ngayon, we are seeing that it's also being utilized by these individuals to evade the cases that are filed against them.
Well, Dana, what else do we know about itong backdoor exit na sinasabi nga nasa Tawi-Tawi, and what are the corrective actions being planned there?
Yes, the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, which is headed by the DOJ, has conducted a study, I think, sometime in September, after all the issues that have been happening on these backdoor exits. And they found several routes that might be utilized to leave the country illegally. So there's areas in Palawan, there's areas in Mindanao that might be used to ride a boat and transfer to a different country. So doon sa study ng IACAT, they have recommended that local government units as well as local law enforcement agencies step up siguro and conduct stricter monitoring of these areas, because these are not covered by immigration, but this could still be used to illegally travel. Kaya it's important that each local government unit make stricter measures to be able to safeguard these areas that might be illegally used by criminals.
And dito po sa probe ninyo, kasama po ba dyan ay ang pag-investigate din sa integrity po ng Bureau of Immigration? And do you think there's a need for an internal reform within the agency?
Well, internal reform is always there. It's always important. And With the new management, Commissioner Viado just assumed office more than 100 days ago. There are a lot of reforms being implemented already. One thing that we are doing is we are reaching out to other government agencies kasi itong border management, it's not just immigration anymore. So nakikita natin, malawak na problema ito at kailangan ng maraming tulong ng iba't ibang ahensya that could better monitor or na mas makikita po yung mga areas na yon. Kaya what we're doing is tying up with other government agencies, not just with that, but also with the arrests. If you can see, if you've noted, ang mga arrests natin ngayon are in the hundreds and they are being done in partnership with other agencies like NBI, PNP, and PAOK in particular. So we are not moving alone. We are partnering with other agencies to make the work of immigration more efficient and better.
All right. Well, going back to Attorney Harry Roque, ma'am, no, he is planning to seek asylum in the Netherlands. May plano po ba ang BI doon na aksyonan yon?
We are unable to answer this kasi this would be beyond the jurisdiction of the BI since kami po sa borders lamang. But siguro for Filipinos that are outside the country, it would be the DFA who could better answer this. But kung siya po ay halimbawa magkaroon naman ng arrest warrant in the Philippines, usually po niyan the process would be the law enforcement agencies here could seek the help of Interpol para ilagay po sa Interpol database, and Interpol member states could assist in arresting him if needed.
First, sa side po ng Bureau of Immigration, may plano po ba kayo kasuhan na ito nga si Attorney Harry Roque kung siya makabalik ng Pilipinas?
Inaalam po natin yung eksaktong pamamaraan ng kanyang pag-alis kasi nakita po natin, actually, nung sinabi niya na wala siyang nilabag na batas sa paglabas po ng bansa illegally, nung tinignan natin yung batas, oo nga, walang law specifically saying or penalizing Filipinos leaving the country without going to immigration. Walang specific law penalizing that. But we are looking into other possible or related na mga ginawa. Could be falsification of travel documents or falsification of public documents rather. Posibleng may ginawa sa kanyang pasaporte, baka gumamit ng peking pantatak. So yun po ay posible o kaya violation of the Philippine Passport Act. Yan po ang mga titingnan natin once we get hold of his travel document.
All right. Well, thank you very much for all those updates. That was Bureau of Immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you and good morning.
Now, don't go away. We still have more stories coming up right after this break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Senate session hall is now being prepared for the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Here's that report.
Senate Secretary Renato Bantug toured House Secretary General Reginald Velasco around the Senate. Velasco was shown the Senate hall that will be used in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Seats and tables of senators who will act as judges are now ready. The Senate session hall can accommodate over 800 people, but only 1/3 of this will be open to the public. Aside from the session hall, more rooms may be used. At least 11 House lawmakers and the Secretariat Support Group will attend the trial. The Senate has also started working on impeachment rules.
We've been talking to a few lawyers in the past 3 or 4 weeks already. They expressed willingness to help us. Of course, we also need some guidance as far as trial procedure is concerned.
The public may expect a number of witnesses who will come forward during the trial.
7 times, sabi mo na 10, so that's about 70. But that's a rough estimate, no? Could be more or less per article.
Senate President Cheese Escudero earlier said they will begin the trial proper by July. For News 5, I'm Brian Basa, and we are One News.
Meanwhile, the Quezon City Police District has filed an inciting to sedition complaint against one of its officers. The case stems from social media posts by patrolman Francis Steve Fontillas following the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The Philippine National Police said officers must remain apolitical and impartial, which Fontillas allegedly violated. The PNP also disclosed that Fontillas underwent psychiatric treatment in 2023 and will undergo another neuropsychiatric evaluation to determine if he is still fit for service. Fontillas, however, stands by his statements and vows to defend himself in court. CIDG Director Nicolas Torre has no intention of filing cases against individuals spreading fake news. Torre said handling misinformation is part of their job and that they have learned to develop thick skin. He also revealed that they are actively studying the operations of troll farms. Torre acknowledged the noticeable activity of troll farms influencing public opinion. The CIDG is also conducting retraining for investigators to analyze financial transactions linked to troll farms. We're going to pause for another quick break, but stay tuned. Morning Matters will be right back. Good morning, I'm Pauline Verzosa, and this is Morning Matters. Senator Risa Ontiveros has disclosed that Lee Duan-Wang is an incorporator of the biggest POGO service in the country. Lee is a Chinese citizen whose naturalization is now up for President Bongbong Marcos's approval. While his company had closed, Ontiveros said they amended their articles of incorporation in 2020 so they can operate like a special class of BPO. In January, the Senate approved the bill granting Philippine citizenship to Lee despite the red flags that Ontiveros raised. And now let's discuss that further with PAOK spokesperson Winston Casio, who is now joining us live via Zoom. Good morning, spokes, and thank you for joining us on Morning Matters.
Hi, good morning.
All right, sir. First off, can you confirm that ito nga si Lee Duan-Wang is indeed connected to the biggest POGO service provider here in the country?
Well, for a time, yes. During, I think, up until 2019, he was a part of the biggest POGO service provider in the country, but they closed shop apparently in 2019 and transformed into an SABPO, a special class of BPO. We were able to get SEC documents linking him as an incorporator to the said company.
Mm-hmm. And is this special class of BPO na sinasabi nyo, sir, is that still operating?
Well, we're taking a look at the alleged operations, but apparently they're not. We're unable to confirm as of this time if they're still operating, but up until December 2024, they were still operating.
I see. All right, sir. First, can you give us also some background kung sino nga ba itong si Lee Duan-Wang at bakit po siya gusto gawing Pilipino? Bakit gusto po siya i-naturalize?
Well, I really cannot speak for the members of Congress, both of the House of Representatives and the Senate, as to their intent to be able to grant him Filipino citizenship. But then again, you only need to look at the spirit of basically the naturalization process via congressional act. Ibig sabihin, kung ikaw ay foreign national na merong significant contribution sa bansa, i-sponsoran ka ng miyembro ng Kongreso para maging naturalized citizen ng bansa by act of Congress. But then again, yung red flags po na nabanggit ni Senator Ontiveros, nakita lamang po namin itong itong mga nakaraang mga buwan lamang po nung nabasa nga po namin na mayroong panukalang batas na siya ay gawing naturalized citizen. We had to dig up. We had to do some thorough research through documentary research and interviews as well as open source research. At nakita nga po namin yung mga links niya doon sa ilang mga pangalan na lumutang na when it comes to POGO operations. Yun nga po, nakita namin that he was linked to Duan Renwu. Duan Renwu is still a fugitive in the country. We're still looking for him. Siya po ang isa sa mga malaking pangalan lumutang doon sa Lucky South 99 investigation sa Porac, Pampanga. Likewise, we also saw open source documents that linked him to one of the biggest gambling tycoons in Southeast Asia, in Asia Pacific for that matter, si Broken Tooth, si Won Kuk Kai. Won Kuk Kai is allegedly a very important figure in the underworld here in the Asia Pacific, and for a time, Won Kuk Kai served a prison sentence, if I'm not mistaken, in Hong Kong. So these are red flags that we have seen as far as the Commission is concerned. And we do share yung pangamba ni Senator Ontiveros with regards to this. So we're drafting a position paper that is merely factual, no? A position paper na kung saan ilalatag lamang namin yung mga asosasyon niya dito sa mga nabanggit kong mga tao at mga industry.
So itong red flag, sir, hindi pa po siya nakita, itong kanyang POGO ties, when his bill was first approved for his naturalization. Pero ang tanong din po, no, sir, asan po ba ngayon si Lee Duan Wang, and will there be charges prepared against him?
Well, with regards to charges, I would leave that matter, the Commission would leave that matter to the other law enforcement agencies if they would be able to find enough evidence that would link him to criminal activities. As of this time, wala pa po tayong ganoon. In fact, nabanggit po kahapon doon sa Senate hearing na yung ikinasang operasyon netong Bureau of Immigration doon sa isang building diyan sa may Asiana Complex ay nakita po siya doon. He was found in the location, in the building, but then he was not found in the actual floor that was subject with the mission order by the Bureau of Immigration. Kaya hindi po siya pwedeng dalhin at i-question. So, isang red flag din po yun, kung bakit nandun siya sa isang building, bagamat hindi sa actual na floor, kung saan merong nakitang POGO, alleged scamming at saka POGO operation. So, there are many red flags na nakita lamang po natin nitong mga huling mga linggo na po, buwan, nung lumutang ang kanyang pangalan na yun nga, meron ngang pending bill. Actually, now it's an enrolled bill, kung di ako nagkakamali, sapagkat naipasa na po ng parehong kapulungan ng Kongreso. So it's now an enrolled bill.
Pero sir, ano po ba ang sistema ngayon ng PAOK sa pagtatrack nitong mga illegal POGOs na nag-convert or nag-divert into a BPO? May listahan na po ba kayo? Gaano karami ngayon ang mga nagsulputan na POGO na naging BPO?
Well, we'd have to be very honest. We still rely on human intelligence from our so-called action agents, our assets, so to speak, that are scattered all over the country, so to speak. Second, we also rely on the information relayed to us by the other law enforcement agencies and even by the gaming regulator, POGO. POGO regularly submits to us, sends us information that we verify. And once they are verified, we do conduct an operation, a raid against a particular organization or company. No. As to the actual number, hindi ho namin may bibigay yan sapagkat they keep on evolving, so to speak. Kami ay nakadepende lamang doon sa trabaho na binibigay sa amin ng aming mga action agents on the ground.
All right. Well, sir, let me also ask about Alice Guo. May lumalabas na reports na ang ginamit daw niyang escape route ay similar doon sa ginamit ni former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque. Can you also confirm that on your end, sir? Yun din ba ang nakita niyo sa inyong investigasyon?
We could not confirm that at this point. Ang sabi ko nga po kahapon doon sa Senate hearing, ang na-confirm lamang po namin sa mga foreign counterparts natin is yung kanyang flight in relation to how she arrived in Kuala Lumpur. This is obviously Miss Guo Ping has employed a very sophisticated travel plan, so to speak. And she could not have done this without the help of other individuals, no? So whether those individuals are private individuals or public officials, that remains to be seen. Kaya nga po, kami naman po sa commission, we're still doing our very best to be able to unmask these individuals. Sapagkat we take to heart the order of the President. Sabi ng Presidente noong nakaraang taon, kung merong mga tao na tumulong kay Guo Ping, Alice Guo, ay kinakailangan din naming masakdal, maidala namin sa korte para hindi na pamarisan pa.
But sir, has the PAOK also identified any systemic weaknesses that may have allowed these unauthorized departures such as yung kay Guo Ping, kasi yung sinasabing backdoor exit nga na ginamit niya ay yung sa Tawi-Tawi?
Yeah. Even before, way back 2013, we have already identified a good number of weaknesses, deficiencies, so to speak, considering that the Philippines is a littoral country, no? So we're an archipelagic country, so there are three. We'd have to take a look at how to be able to plug the holes, so to speak, in the maritime borders of the three littoral states, Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia. Kasi itong maritime borders na ito ang ginagamit lagi. That's one. Does it require more maritime assets? Yes, it would require more maritime assets. Would it require more law enforcement patrol? Yes, it would require more law enforcement patrols. But another problem that needs to be resolved is we need to properly regulate private ports in this country. In this country, there are a good number of private ports. You've got commercial private ports, you've got fishing private ports, you've got municipal private fishing ports, and so on and so forth. Being an archipelagic country, ganun tayo kalaki. Naipakita nga po kahapon nung presentasyon ni BI Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado at saka ni NICA Assistant DDG na si Ace Asidilio. Naipakita po nila kung gaano karami yung mga ports, both seaports, airports, airstrips, and so on and so forth, at ilan lamang yung presence natin. So, we need to regulate those. Tama po ang sinabi ni Commissioner Viado, kinakailangan matulungan ang immigration na madagdagan yung kanilang capacity. So, these are two problems na nakita na namin. One, the very porous maritime borders, and second, our inability to properly regulate these private ports, be they seaports or airports.
And sir, what is the latest progress in locating and apprehending illegal POGO workers who are still operating in the country? May number na po ba kayo kung ilan na ang na-deport at ang kailangan pang ma-deport?
With regards to deportation, the Bureau of Immigration, the PAOK, and the Department of Justice, we are properly and closely coordinating on how to be able to fast-track the deportation process. We've got a project that the agencies aforementioned have a project. We call it the POGO 1000 project, meaning to say there are more than 1,000 foreign nationals are currently in our detention, and we're fast-tracking, expediting the process to be able to deport them. Having said that, kung 11,000 yung natira from the December ban, yung hindi nag-uwian, so we're roughly 1,000 peso po ang nasa amin, so roughly meron pa po tayong 9,000 900 plus na kinakailangan pang hagilapin dito sa Pilipinas. So, we're confident naman together with the NBI, PNP, at saka Immigration Bureau and the Department of Justice, we're confident we'll be able to find these 9,000 remaining tawag natin mga strugglers, no? So we'll be able to find them and eventually deport them, and those that to be criminally charged, kakasuhan po natin.
And are you giving yourselves a deadline for that, sir?
The three aforementioned agencies together with the other members ng technical working group, binigyan po namin ang aming sarili ng hanggang September and September to early October to be able to finish the job.
All right. Well, you also had, the PAOK also had 2 successful operations, sir, in Parañaque and Pasay, no, which led to the arrest of about 800 individuals at nalagay sila sa kustodiya nga ng PAOK. Ano pong latest doon, sir?
We're just waiting the deportation orders. Then once we get the deportation orders from the Bureau of Immigration, we will coordinate with the respective embassies to be able to properly deport them to their countries of origin. So, give and take po siguro. Kasi ganito po, yung nagbabayad po kasi ng ticket generally are the embassies, no?
Okay.
Not the Philippine government. So it would probably take them another 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to be able to charter the specific the flights to transport their foreign nationals. So siguro at the very latest by April 18 to 20, around those dates, meron na tayong may deport na sobrang na siguro mga 500 to 800 of these 1,000 foreign nationals.
And sir, we also just wanted to get an update because 2 weeks ago, there was that unfortunate incident of kidnapping of a Chinese student in Taguig City, and they are saying that it is POGO related. Were you able to establish already the mastermind of that crime, sir? Ito bang si Wang Danyu nga ang mastermind nun?
With regards to the kidnapping incident, we deferred to the PNP-AKG, anti-kidnapping group, being the primary lead agency that successfully retrieved the boy from his kidnappers. As far as the assistance that we are providing to the PNP and the DILG, we'd rather that they be the one to disclose our findings as well.
Pero sir, what about POGO bosses, diverting into other revenue streams? Sabi nila, pinapasukan na nga rin nila itong kidnapping, smuggling, and even illegal gambling. What is the government doing about that?
Well, that appears to be a trend na nakikita nga natin. Kaya kami po sa commission, being the chair, the lead agency of the technical working group against illegal POGOs, we are identifying through the help of our intelligence agencies, together with the help of our human assets, as well as the other law enforcement agencies and regulators na ma-identify po ito. So, tuloy-tuloy lang po kami. In fact, the other day, together with the IDG, the Commission was able to apprehend some Chinese individuals who were scamming their fellow Chinese individuals into paying millions of pesos with the supposed promise na makakalaya sila sa mga PAOK detention. So, tuloy-tuloy kami. It's almost a 24/7 job. The different officers of PAOK and our field personnel are always in the field. Kumbaga, just where I am now, I was supposed to do a Zoom interview with you, but because I am unable to extricate myself from the field, I have to do this via phone patch. So, tuloy-tuloy lang po kami kasi the deadline is drawing near, September to early October, di ba? So, best effort to comply with the President's promise to the Filipino people that all remnants of this problem will be eradicated.
But, sir, how extensive is the network of these POGO syndicates? And gano'n pa ba karampant itong mga alarming incidents? So, from what I heard from you, sir, itong mga Chinese to Chinese, yung mga nangyayaring crimes?
Well, how rampant are they? one good thing about it is it's not spilling over to the general population. It is, as of the moment, a limited phenomenon among individuals who are associated with this gaming industry. That's one. So, second is, since we have identified a good number of these individuals, we submitted their names to the Bureau of Immigration to put them on the watch list, so to speak. No, since wala pa namang criminal charges laban po sa kanila, we could not put them on the preventive hold departure order. But since we have identified them, we have some idea, yung kanilang mga mukha, kanilang mga birth dates and so on and so forth, and in some instances, copies of their passports. Kaya nailalatag po natin, i-request natin sa Bureau of Immigration to put them on the watch list. Now, having said that, with the help of the different intelligence agencies, nagtutuloy-tuloy po tayo. So, how extensive the network, as far as their group concerned, the world is getting smaller for them sapagkat nahuhubaran na po natin sila, so to speak. Natatanggal na natin yung kanilang mga maskara. Ngayon, ang nakakabahala lang dito lagi, syempre, is bakit sila namayagpag dito sa Pilipinas netong mga nakaraang mga taon? At bakit nanatili pa sila sa Pilipinas? Where are they drawing their strength, so to speak? Where are they drawing their lakas ng loob? So, yun naman yung aming hinuhubaran. So, baka mamaya meron tayong mga kasama sa gobyerno na na-impluwensyahan nila, bagamat wala pa kaming ebidensya to that point. Yan ang aming tinututukan ngayon para tuluyan nating mapahina yung kanilang organisasyon.
So you confirm, sir, na isa yan sa tinitingnan yung anggulo, ang government protectors nitong mga criminals.
It's always a factor, ma'am, in any investigation involving organized crime. Sapagkat ang organized crime only prospers if there is a co-opted public official who provides the protection, so to speak. Kasi by very definition, organized crime always involves some form of corrupted public official. How high, how low, that remains to be proven when evidence surfaces. But sa PAOK, hindi ho namin isinasantabi yan. We always have that in mind, so to speak.
Alright, ito tanong na lang din po namin, sir, sino po daw ba ang gagastos dun sa pagstay ng ilang mga illegal POGO workers na nasa bansa pa, na nasa mga detention center? Gastos po ba yun ng ating gobyerno?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. That is part of our commitment to the community of nations na kapag tayo merong nahuhuli na mga foreign nationals na lumalabag sa ating mga batas, it is the host government, the government that holds them to provide for the needs of these individuals while in custody or in detention. Pero, liliwanagin ko lang po, pagdating po sa deportation, it is the mother country, the country of origin, who pays for their deportation cost, yung flight and so on and so forth.
All right, well, thank you very much for all those updates and for making time for us this morning. Maraming salamat po, PAOK spokesperson Winston Casio.
Thank you very much.
Don't go away. We still have more matters to discuss after the break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Philippine Coast Guard has received a new vessel from the Philippine Red Cross. The MV Amazing Grace will now be used by PCG as their first ever humanitarian ship. It was first acquired by the Red Cross in 2010. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Hale-Gavan and PRC Chairman Senator Richard Gordon signed a deed of donation yesterday. The PCG also received other donations from SpaceX and Grab Philippines. Amid rising tensions in the South China Sea, a new wave of diplomacy is emerging. The Philippine Coast Guard's Angels of the Sea, an all-women team, is trained to de-escalate encounters in the disputed waters. And to talk more about this and other matters, we now have PCG spokesperson Commodore Alguer Ricafrente. Good morning, Commodore, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Pauline, and good morning also to your viewers and listeners.
All right, Commodore, since it is Women's Month, ito pag-usapan natin ang Angels of the Sea program ng Philippine Coast Guard. Tell us about this, sir, at ano ba yung main objective ng programang ito?
Isa po ito sa programa na in-espouse ng ating Commandant, Admiral Ronnie Hale-Gavan. Nagsimula ito noong pang 2018 na to ease the fear and tension ng ating mga marino dito sa may Sulu Levy Sea. Kasi alam naman natin na during the time ng 2016, 2017, medyo marami tayong incident of kidnapping and sea robbery dyan sa area na yan. Kaya na-come up yan ng program ng ating komandante, no, isa pa ang district commander sa ating Coast Guard District Southwestern Mindanao, na magtalaga ng mga female na mga radio operators na makikipag-ugnayan sa ating marino habang dumadaan sa lugar na yon. At nakita nga natin yung ganda ng programa na yon at in-apply natin dito sa ating sitwasyon sa West Philippines, kung saan ay ginamit natin yung potential ng ating kababaihan na maging radio operator at sila yung nakikipag-communicate at nagta-challenge ng ating mga counterpart na law enforcement agencies and other mga vessel na naglalagi doon sa ating sa loob ng ating exclusive economic zone sa parte ng West Philippines.
At sinabi nga po ng PCG Commodore that women are more effective nga in de-escalating tensions, especially sa mga interactions with the Chinese Coast Guard. But sir, can you cite an example in the past kung saan nakita niyong effective nga talaga yung paggamit natin ng mga kababaihan o Angels of the Sea sa ito pong pag-handle ng maritime disputes?
Tama po, meron po tayong mga magagandang mga result na yung dati kasi na lalaki pa yung ginagamit natin na radio operator, so nagkakaroon ng tension on radio challenging. Nung nag-explore na tayo at ginamit na natin yung ating mga kababaihan, yung tinatawag na natin Angels of the Sea, ay somehow nagkakaroon ng ease ng tension ng kanilang conversation as they both vessels are challenging each other. Dahil nakikita natin yung psyche of a woman, especially of a mother, na pagkausap yan ng mga kalalakihan o yung may mga asawa, na medyo lumalambot ng kaunti yung puso. Psychologically, meron siyang effect which also resulted na magandang progress din sa ating program.
Pero alam naman natin, Commodore, ng mga maritime disputes na yan, lalo na sa South China Sea, dyan sa karagatan, it could also be tensionado. So how does the PCG prepare itong mga Angels of the Sea, mga ating radio women, sa pag-handle ng mga situation na ganyan?
Kasama din po yan sa basic training pa lang ay tinuturuan na po yung ating mga tao maging composed while under pressure. At kasama din po sa kanilang training na dahil na ang buhay sa barko ay hindi madali, na hindi lang yung pagkakandak ng law enforcement yung ating problema. Maging yung perils of the sea, yung sitwasyon ng ating karagatan ay maaari din makapaglulot ng psychological factor doon sa ating mga solusyon. Kasama yun sa pag-prepare nila na maging stable sila in times of danger. And in times of tension, ay maging stable pa rin sila para they could think proper and the right thing to do, they could do the right thing to do during such encounter.
Pero sir, it's really nice na hina-harness nga po ng Philippine Coast Guard yung strengths ng mga babae sa role na ito. But at the same time, sir, you have to wonder kung if this just enforces gender roles. Kumbaga, baka magkaroon ng assumption or ma-pigeonhole ang kababaihan na they're more suitable for softer roles. How do you respond to criticism like that, Commodore?
Sa atin naman ay ini-espouse din natin yung gender equality. Tinitingnan lang natin kung saan yung strength ng ating mga kababayan. In fact, hindi lang naman dyan sa role na yan natin sila na-maximize yung kanilang potential. Meron din tayo mga female divers. In fact, may mga female pilots din tayo sa Philippine Coast Guard. And also we have female mga ship's captain. In fact, if you remember yung mga news natin na yung some of our vessels, especially yung mga 44-meter vessel, na siya yung nagka-challenge even the big ship na dinideploy ng China Coast Guard sa West Philippine Sea ay meron tayong mga barko na female, yung ship captain. As big as 44-meter vessel ng Philippine Coast Guard, female yung ship captain na siya yung kasama na nagka-challenge doon sa mga barko ng ating counterpart na papasok doon sa ating exclusive ilalim zone without the proper authority.
And sir, do you already have plans as early as now of expanding itong initiative in the future? May mas marami bang mga babae ang ire-recruit sa napaka-importanteng role na ito?
Meron na tayong naka-program for the next training kasi considering na in the next few years, meron tayong mga paparating na mga additional vessel. Particularly, yung 40 units natin na 35-meter vessel from France at yung 5 na additional order natin na 97 meters from Japan. So, kinakailangan natin not only ship's crew, but also these range operators at dahil nga nakikita natin yung potential at yung effectiveness ng ating mga kababayan. Kaya meron tayong naka-on-deck na program for this year for another round of Angels of the Sea program.
And Commodore, of course, the PCG officially received itong ang MV Amazing Grace. It is a 55-meter humanitarian vessel from the Philippine Red Cross. Paano po ito makakatulong sa inyong mga misyon and would it also be used in remote areas such as Pag-asa Island?
Tama po. Ito po hindi lang naman nakatutok dito sa mga Pag-asa Island kasi ang intention naman nito in partnership with the Philippine National Red Cross ay patulong na rin ng ating national government ay ang intention nito ay multipurpose for humanitarian at para madala din natin yung services ng ating national government to the far-flung area. Alam naman natin during calamities na lagi tayong binibisita ng mga bagyo, yung ating mga daanan ay hirap madaanan minsan dahil sa baha o sa mga landslide at yung ating mga isolated na mga areas na maaaring hindi kaagad maabutan ng tulong na yung barko lang ang pwede makakadala. So itong barko na ito ay maaari natin depending on the operation, pwede natin gamitin siyang some hospital ship and also a cargo vessel that could bring on the services of the government doon sa mga far-flung areas, especially doon sa mga isla na hirap abutin ng tulong ng iba pang mga ahensya.
And Commodore, pag-usapan naman din po natin itong Maritime Zones Act. I remember nung January, nagsuggest po si Senator Francis Tolentino na isama na yan, magkaroon ng crash course, lalo na sa mga new recruits ng PCG. And with that, has the PCG taken steps to integrate itong Maritime Zones Act doon sa training nga po ng mga bagong recruit at gaano po ba ka-importante yung pag-intindi nitong ating bagong Maritime Zones Act sa mga operasyon ng PCG?
Napaka-importante po ito kasi ito po yung magiging tool natin to identify kung saan yung ating mga teritoryo na kailangan bantayan. Kung saan yung ating mga maritime zones at kung ano-ano yung mga batas na pwede natin i-implement doon. Even before the passage of the Maritime Zones Act ay kasama na po sa basic training, sa program ng basic training natin yung UNCLOS, which defines the rights and obligation of the coastal state and other states. At dahil nga sa pagpasa nitong batas na ito, mas na-intensify natin at mas mapapalinaw pa natin yung knowledge ng ating mga personnel kung saan yung ating jurisdiction, kung ano yung appropriate batas on that particular jurisdiction. Kaya naisama na rin po natin sa ating mga program ito. Hindi lang dun sa basic, mas pinapalawin pa natin dun sa mga advanced courses po natin.
Alright, well maraming salamat po for joining us on Morning Matters today. At that was PCG spokesperson, Commodore Alguer Rica Frente. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po po din at sa inyong mga pagkakataon.
Alright, and that's today's episode of Morning Matters. I'm Pauline Verzosa, sitting in for Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time.